1945. While Europe counted its dead and Asia dug out of rubble, America was playing a different game entirely. They weren't just winning the war, they were designing what came next. Half the world's factories, two-thirds of its gold, and a plan to lock in that advantage forever. This is how America built a secret empire without firing a shot. July 1944. Bretton Woods, a luxury resort in New Hampshire. 44 nations gathered to rebuild the global economy. The British delegation, led by economist John Maynard Keynes, arrived with their own plan for a new global currency. The Americans, led by Harry Dexter White, had other ideas. After 2 weeks of negotiations, Keynes reportedly told a colleague, "We went in with a blueprint for the world economy. We came out with an American empire." America's pitch was simple: make the dollar the world's reserve currency. Every other currency would be pegged to the dollar at fixed rates. And the dollar? Backed by gold at $35 an ounce. Here's the catch most didn't see coming. Want to trade internationally? You need dollars. How do you get dollars? Sell to America or borrow from American banks? The ripple effects were immediate. Overnight, every country's prosperity became dependent on America staying rich. They called it cooperation. Critics later called it economic colonization. But Bretton Woods was just the beginning. Then came the Marshall Plan, $13 billion to rebuild Europe. But read the fine print. Buy American goods. Use American companies. Open your markets to American exports. Reduce trade barriers with other participating nations. And here's the kicker: coordinate your economic policies with American advisors. You see this playbook today when China offers Belt and Road infrastructure loans with similar strings attached. Europe got rebuilt, but always in orbit around American markets. Meanwhile, in Moscow, Stalin was reading the Marshall Plan documents. He reportedly slammed them on his desk and declared, "They want to buy Europe." When his advisors suggested accepting the aid, Stalin's response was blunt: "We don't take charity that comes with chains." Russia saw through this immediately. Stalin dismissed it as economic imperialism and refused, a decision that hardened the divide and helped create the Cold War. While Stalin was building walls, America was building institutions. Next, the United Nations. Looks like global democracy, right? Check the Security Council, 5 permanent members with veto power. In 1945, America could count on 3 of them as allies. This is why China and Russia today push so hard for UN reform. They're still operating under rules written when they were weak. Global democracy? Not exactly. More like American leadership with international legitimacy. Then came the World Bank, the IMF, NATO, all offering help, all with conditions, all run from Washington. Here's the genius of the whole system. America didn't conquer anyone. They built a system that made others dependent on U.S. strength. But here's what even American planners didn't fully anticipate: how durable this architecture would prove to be. European recovery created markets for American exports. The dollar became indispensable for global trade. American institutions became the only game in town. Most countries genuinely benefited. American hegemony delivered growth, stability, and peace, at least for the developed world. That world built between 1944 and 1949 is still our world. The dollar still runs global finance. Even China holds over $1 trillion in reserves. The UN Security Council has the same 5 members, which is why every major conflict still gets decided by these 1945 powers. The World Bank and IMF still operate from Washington and still attach conditions to their loans. But here's the question keeping world leaders awake at night: Can this 80-year-old American design system handle China's rise? You see the tension everywhere. China launching the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank to compete with the World Bank. Russia and China trading in yuan and rubles to bypass the dollar. The BRICS nations talking about their own currency system. The cracks are starting to show. Understanding how this system was built helps you understand why changing it is so hard and why the attempts to change it are causing such global chaos today. Because what happened next would turn this economic architecture into something far more powerful and dangerous. Next episode: how the Cold War turned this economic architecture into an ideological war machine.